And hey, look at that. We are loading into our first Nightmare match with Kenshi on, the Nightmare facing the survivors being Zoob, Bucky, SMSFR, and we Jason. We see Kenshi setting up all of these dream pallets quite quickly into the match. We do see Bucky here at the main building, but not opting to chase him yet. Gotta break these doors down, Fredward. So that's what we're gonna see first, and maybe we'll be seeing maybe we'll be seeing a chase come in here shortly.
Setting up the dream pallets immediately is just a wise decision, right? You know that main is probably going to be one of the major places that you're going to be playing, especially as Freddy, right? You have the ability to jump around to so many different places already. Was that 3 survivors found immediately going to take our first chase against Wee Jason? And of all the survivors to be your first chase, it had to be Wee Jason, didn't it? Ugh, painful. Wee Jason is a fantastic survivor.
Could not have said that better myself there, Fredrik. It's very true. But, you know, we got to admit that that strike there with the Dream Snare was quite on the nose. It was very accurate right there. We do get our slowdown as well with another Dream Snare, and then the M1 comes in. We're going to teleport to the main building generator and try to find out who's over here working. And it looks like our balanced landing survivor was here, actually.
Misses the drop, I should note. Kenshi was trying to drop down. I think that or saved it at the last second. He might have... Oh my god, the head-on, just to be cheeky. Didn't see it coming at all either, I don't think.
Yeah, it usually gets used in the middle of a chase, but I mean, when not to use it, when you're a little bit afraid that the killer might actually find you in a locker randomly. That does happen, by the way, so gotta be pretty careful. I like this decision from SMSFR. He understands that he's going to take the hit pretty soon, so instead of continuing to loop that filler, he decides to just leave and take the M1. Very smart decision, I'd have to say there.
Swapping back over to Wee Jason as well, not able to get the hit and gets stunned. Wee Jason juicing right now. This first down, okay, there we go. First down at long last. What are we looking at on that timer? 2 minutes, 24 seconds. Spreading a lot of pressure. To be clear, but that is main generator getting completed in 2 generators getting completed, including the main generator for the first down. Rough for Seraph.
Very rough, I'd have to say, honestly. That's, that's pretty good pacing from the Survivors gen progress, I'd have to say. So very nice to see that. We also, I realized we didn't talk about the killer's build here, the Nightmare's build. Ooh, nice dodge out from Bucky there, avoiding that dream pallet explosion. Very, very quick thinking there. And a little bit early for head on there, Bucky, a little bit early. But, hey, you gotta try. Yeah, exactly. It was,
Okay, I have a question.
Yes.
Is that hook in the corner of main that Wee Jason went up onto, was that a pain res hook? Like, do we know? Us as casters, we can't see. It's a spectator thingy. We can't see the Scourge hooks. But if that really was a pain res, then that means that there wasn't any progress on any of the other hooks. If there is no progress, then pain res will not proc, to my knowledge, unless that's been changed.
I didn't catch it. My microphone is literally right in front of the perks, so I actually did not see it. I just moved it a little bit. I hope that everything's still okay with our producer, and I didn't just mess up his incredible sound equality there.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But yeah, I didn't see it.
Can I point out? I love SMSFR's perk build, by the way. I am a huge fan of boil over and flip flop, not because it's good, but just because it is annoying as all get out. Bucky getting dropped, third hook of the game. Thank you very much.
I mean, flip flop and boil over is the build that you run when you're just a silly little guy, That's just
just a little fella. Ugh.
Sorry,
the
continue, please.
goofiest. No, I'm good. That just the goofiest possible build. Second hook going up onto Bucky. 3 generators completed for Sinners so far. And I'm gonna level with you. Not a lot to show for it.
Very true. I mean, we're looking at this right now, right? And 3 generators are completed, but you also only have a few hooks on the board at the moment. That being 3 total, if I'm not mistaken, on 2 fresh survivors. So,
Yes,
you know, there's
correct.
a lot to be gained out of this match.
My system, my
Oh.
notepad system, is working amazing this game. I
Nice.
am on the ball. We have a lot of progress on 2 separate generators right now. We are looking at an end game happening very soon, I'd say in the next couple of minutes. Missing that snare is rough as well.
Very rough. Yeah, because, I mean, like, this chase has already taken quite some time. So, missing that snare just, you know, it really drags out the chase a lot longer than it should. So, Zoob just kind of gets a lot of free distance, really not even using any windows at all. So,
That's a third
really
fresh hook.
unfortunate.
Third fresh hook. Was that even a pain resonance usage? Another down on SMSFR, however, underneath the pallet. Anyone nearby? No, everyone's just off in the distance.
Yeah, that's quite a good point there.
So it wasn't a
now-
pain res hook.
Huh. Yeah,
That
I
was,
guess not.
however.
But that was, yes. Just to clarify a little bit there, that was indeed a pain resonance hook. But the one that Jason was hooked on earlier was not. So
Correct.
I'm following
So
what you're putting
everyone-
down there, Fredrik, I promised.
Okay, everyone. I believed you did. Everyone has been hooked now. That's 4 fresh hooks. We have 6 total hook stages, and not 1 tunnel out yet. That is brutal, and it is going to be very hard to hold the generators. On top of that, it's not a great gen split for Kenshi.
Yeah, definitely not a great gen split. Unfortunately, missing the dream snare there, but that's just because Bucky opts to take the comp corner there, wasting as
Dude,
much
you leave
time
him.
of Kenshi's as possible. Yep, we do leave him.
Yeah.
But are we going to commit to that is my question. He's going to teleport to this generator off in the corner and try to prevent SMSFR from completing it, which I think is a great idea. With your gen split being so spread apart, you definitely want to make sure to check what's going on.
Gen split. Oh, that would have been so nice. You don't get to see a whole lot of Dream Palette injuries.
I love Dream Palette Explosion hits. It's just,
fun.
it's like the only thing that makes a Freddy set extremely enjoyable for me. Everything else, it's very fun, but the Dream Palette Explosion hits, they are something that I just absolutely love.
Oh, it's satisfying. SMSFR now on 2 hook stages. We have a total of 7. This is something that Freddy's pretty good at doing, is spreading out the pressure, but this is maybe a bit too much. The generators are splayed out farther than a Cirque du Soleil dancer's limbs, right? Like, this is wild. Like, how are you, like, even as Freddy, how are you supposed to hold this, right? It's hard to, okay, another generator getting done. SMSFR about halfway through their second hook stage. Are they going to leave him up on hook?
Oh,
And then just try to, oh no. So important to note, only 1 survivor on that generator, which means that the other generators are probably getting cranked right now.
That was some very smart decision-making here from Team Sinners, by the way. Sneaking the survivor in to work on this high-progress gen while SMSFR is sitting on the hook. You would think that someone would be caught out quicker on the rotation for the unhook than someone to go and get on the generator behind Kenshi's back. That was very sneaky, I'd have to say. That would make me very, very angry if I was Kenshi, if I found that. I'd be like, you little rat. What are you doing?
Well,
Get over here.
That's the frustrating part of playing a teleport killer, right? Someone like Freddy or someone like Dredge. You hook someone, And then if you really want to apply pressure the way that your killer can best do so, you gotta leave the hook. And that just hurts. Also, something that I'd like to note, have you really felt the effect of Sloppy Butcher very much this game? I feel like they just leave the person injured, wait for the timeout on it, and then heal.
You know, I think that has been the only time wasted, really, is just Sloppy Butcher kind of just being left to cool down until they can actually heal without any mangled or hemorrhage. But that being said, that does still waste a little bit of time, which is nice, and I think that's the only reason that gens haven't gone as fast as they could have. I think that's the main thing, really.
Ooh, there we go.
Oh, that's what I'm living for, baby! That was wonderful. Great job, Kenshi.
Dream pallets are such a funny mechanic, especially in competitive Dead by Daylight where the communication is so good, but that one seemed to catch Zube off guard, and we still don't have a survivor out of this trial, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, no real tunnel out being committed to yet is quite interesting to see. That being said, we have gotten hooks on just about everyone at this point, so... Oh, man, it is incredible how many hook states have come out for no real tunnel out being pulled in. That's so
now
interesting.
We're at 7. I misspoke, by the way. We are now, I believe, at 7 hook stages.
Yeah, it feels like Kenshi is trying to play the most fair game of DBD possible.
Yeah, right? I'm here to make sure that everyone has fun.
Yeah. I care about everyone's fun too, guys. Look at me. I should be given brownie points and not just, like, set points. You know?
I think that's worth 1 extra hook stage. Jason.
Yeah, I know, right?
Already we have SMSFR opening one of the gates. That's 2 hook stages on every single survivor, which, to be clear, is not a bad result. But the question is, and actually, you know, it's not the worst. Like, we're kind of impressed that nobody has died yet, but 8 hook stages on a Freddy on 4 fresh survivors is a good result.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like, this could have been played into a tunnel out for sure, and I think that would have been the more efficient move. But either way, I mean, this still does earn you a lot of points for your team. And if the next trial doesn't go this well, you know, I mean, like, things could really end up a lot, you know, very differently for the for their progress towards the set point. That being said, I mean, like, it's incredibly impressive.
On our first match of the day with Freddy, Jason, taking the killer for Sinners, has to beat 8 hook stages on 4 fresh hooks. That is what is being demanded of Jason. Sinners had a very, like, I would say, a pretty good result. Lots of spread gen pressure for Seraph's, for Kenshi on his Freddy for Seraph. We are wondering now, is Jason going to do the same? Or is he going to play a bit more traditionally and gun for a tunnel out, getting a first hit relatively quickly?
Absolutely, but now it's up to Apply to really keep this chase going for quite some time and not go down too early. Otherwise, Jason has a bit of an up and up going into this match. That being said, I do think that Jason is actually... Oh, that gives him the early down right there. That is really unfortunate for Apply. Very well done by Jason there. That first down came in pretty quickly, I'd say. We're waiting for our stats analyst, Toby, to give us the update on how quickly that was. I see him typing furiously in chat right now. But that being said, you know, I think it's really interesting. The last match with 8 stages, 4 fresh, that was definitely going to appeal to the brand new viewers who come in and say, wow, there's a lot of camping and tunneling going on in these games. But Kenshi really broke the mold there, and I think we can really appeal to those viewers. That being said, oh, it looks like
Kenshi,
Zaphis
the
took
people's
a
killer.
He's really for the people. Oh man.
All right, first hook. Ooh, I'm gonna write that down in my handy dandy notebook. All right, there we go. I even messed it up writing it down with my nice little system. Don't worry, I've got it this time. Body block coming in already. Jaw gonna take it. Now, Sloppy Butcher does mean that the effectiveness of hit tanking for your allies is significantly less. Still important, still worth it, I'm willing to say. But it does mean that that's more time wasted. Finally dropping the Shack pallet. Shack no longer a safe place where you want to be. But I'd like to point out the existence of Ruin.
Also, it's in combination with Dragon's Grip, by the way. So with that being said, once Ruin is cleansed, Dragon's Grip is going to present... What's that? Oh, that's Deadlock! I'm so sorry! What am I talking about?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't know why Dragon's Grip is on my mind today, Fredrik. But yeah, that's Deadlock. That being said, yeah, no, Deadlock is a great perk, guys. It's very recognizable indeed.
Now this this build is built around Ruin, right? It's kick the survivors off of the generators as many times as you can and allow Ruin to do work. But that means that we Jason is going to try very hard to keep the Ruin Totem alive. And the Ruin Totem is in a pretty centralized location. Once the Ruin Totem gets spotted, if it has not been spotted already, I could see Seraph trying to put pressure on it and pull wee Jason away from the generators on the outskirts of the map.
Yeah, and that'd be a really fantastic strategy to see come into play here. And it's definitely one that I would definitely imagine that wee Jason is not above doing. It's really efficient and smart to really do. Oh, is that regressing? I don't know if that was regressing or not. But yeah, no, that being said, Apply is dying in the basement, I'm pretty sure. I don't think anyone is coming to save. Kenshi is happy sitting on a gen. Jaw and Zaphis are out looking around for the next generator to work on. So I do not imagine that Apply is going to die in the basement, unfortunately. Wow. But that's at 4 gens, by the way, Fredrik. That's a pretty early death. The 3v1 is going to be punishing this early into the match. And now wee Jason is taking his time to break up doors around main.
Minus rep allies didn't save. Yep, door's going to go down in main. Nowhere is safe now, right? You have the Ruin Totem fairly, like, near main. You don't get that totem, do you? Ooh,
no,
very nice job using the Dream Palette, saying no, corralling Jaw over in the direction that he wants to go, just kind of faking the teleport. This is the kind of pressure, this is the kind of passive pressure that you can apply with Freddy.
It's very true. And you know, something that I've kind of realized over time is the fact that the Dream Palettes kind of give you a similar gameplay loop to Dissolution when it's active. The survivors will just, ignore the pallets, they'll run the opposite way, and you get value out of it by not using it because the survivors are afraid to die to it. So
I really enjoy watching corralling killers like this. Ooh, another deadlock. I love killers that can corral the survivors. All right, we have another hook stage. That's 4 hook stages for our Sinner's Killer. Ooh, that was almost.
Oh, nice. The Quick and Quiet actually kind of caught wee Jason off guard there. He wasn't really too sure if Kenshi actually vaulted or not, so that was quite interesting for just a second there. But that being said, we're taking the Injure and the Dream State onto Kenshi and then leaving to go pressure the rest of the map, which I think is very smart, honestly.
I'm kind of surprised that wee Jason didn't go a little bit harder on Kenshi, right? Like, all right, let me get another hook stage. Let me try to apply more pressure. But he's more interested in applying pressure across the map. Another generator finally getting done. but getting any more, right, every time a generator gets completed, I wouldn't be surprised to see another generator completed, but remember, there's already been a tunnel out. Kenshi actually going down for real this time.
Yeah, the fake did not work this time.
Leaves him on the ground. Oh, but I think he's spotted. I think Jason spotted someone coming over for the save.
Oh!
There they are, second down. Now all it takes, all it will take is one more M1 to just slug everyone and finish this. But no, he says, I'm just going to take Jaw. This is going to be the second hook stage on Jaw. Pushing ever closer to that 9-stage victory condition.
That is completely accurate. And we're seeing, and honestly, this is something that I wanted to mention, right? This difference in playstyle is really dictating how the match is going, right? Because the 3v1 at 4 gens remaining was very punishing. Getting one generator done, I'm sure felt like a victory to Team Seraph here, but they have 3 more to go and stages to get out of the door in order to actually even tie, let alone win. So there's still quite a lot on the board. The 3v1 being so incredibly punishing is going to make that very difficult, which is why I think that
Ruin.
Kenji... Yeah, no kidding.
Ruin makes a 3v1 so much worse.
Very well said. It very much does. And that being said, also with Grim Embrace as well, I mean, this is just going to be extremely difficult for Team Seraph to do anything about, because, I mean, only one survivor can sit on a generator at a time, right? Because one's going to be getting chased, and the other one needs to go, it's sitting on a hook, or they're slugged, and eventually you're going to have to rotate one of those 2 survivors out in order to go pick that survivor or unhook them. So, I mean... With that being said, there's so much that the survivors will be occupied on. You don't even get the save here. You don't. We'll have to leave.
Yeah, what are you doing,
The fake was nice.
No. It was a really good fake, right? Just like, hey, Jason, it's free. Very nice turn, making sure to continue camping this.
I fooled you.
Jaw was hoping. Jaw was hoping, and now Mathis has no choice but to go for the trade. Oh no!
He hit the survivor on hook! That's BM, Jason! What are you doing?
Alright, I'm sorry to say, everyone, that Sinners have been disqualified for BM hitting a survivor on hook. But no, I'm joking. That does mean...
Especially after how Kenji played last time with his nice guy strats. You're DQ'd, Jason. You're DQ'd.
That's 7 hook stages now, with another survivor injured in chase. Not looking great for Seraph right now. Despite a decent win condition, Jason is just too scary of a survivor. Nice stun, though. Going to buy him more time to get farther into the map. Where do you go if you're zapped? Is that plot twist?
Did you see what just happened in the background? Kenshi went down to deep wound.
Yeah. Did he? Wait, was that deep wounds?
Yes.
No, was that deep wounds or was it plot twist?
No, that was deep wound.
Oh. What?
What was he? I don't know what the thought process that was there. That was...
Okay, well, maybe he just wanted to get as much progress on the generator as possible before mending? Question mark. One way or another, though, that's going to be a 4K at 3 gens for Sinners. Sinners taking game number 1 in extremely convincing fashion.
I couldn't overstate that anymore, right? Because with the 2 different results, right? 8 stages on 4 frets being the first result, and then a complete 4K at 3 whole generators remaining. That is such a massive, dominant position for Team Sinners to sit in right now. Very well played, and it speaks highly of their ability to really force ties and wins, set wins against the top 3 teams in Season 10. I mean, like, this is just incredible work by Sinners. That being said, Seraph is nothing to scoff at. They are a very good team as well. They're not at the very bottom of Season 10 either. And the fact that Sinners is pulling these kind of plays against a team that isn't very far from their position on the standings is just something insane, I'd have to say.
Yeah, I don't think that I don't think that Seraph performed poorly, right? I think that the strategy was sound. I think that playing a killer like Freddy like this isn't done terribly much, but is worthwhile.
On Spirit? What's going on here? It's
How
like a
dare
fundamental
you?
perk on Spirit these days, and now we're not running it all of a sudden?
No, no,
What kind of
no,
gameplay are we going here for, we, Jason? That being said, no, we... that being said, yeah, we do have a pretty good build, I'd say, though. But honestly, it does feel a little bit weird seeing Spirit without Dragon's Grip. It's almost like it's a staple perk on her these days.
Wow, we didn't even have time to get this game started already with an extremely quick down. Jason starting this set off with a bang. That's a 36-second first down and shoving him into basement in the same way a bully shoves a kid's head into a locker and into a toilet. Oh, jeez.
Oh my goodness, Fredrik. I'm so glad you're on the team. That was some excellent analogy right there. But we do have... Oh, this is interesting. Ja is already in basement waiting
Excuse
for
me?
the pull. Was
What are
Ja
you doing there?
already in the basement? That's very curious.
Surviving.
Just kind of sitting there. We
right.
do get our unhook here. So that's really nice to see.
Signal.
Jason hears the...
Ooh.
Oh, for the people? Very interesting.
Yeah, for the people. I mean, it's the best way to get someone out, right? And the blind, just to buy a little bit more time, right? Right. Ooh, very nice listening. All right, can you get this, Jason?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Ooh.
Very nice
I
phase
think that,
hit there.
I think that Jason predicted Kenshi's movement perfectly and didn't expect to do so well because he unfazed right on top of him. Nice stun, though. A second. Ooh, not quite a second line.
Incredible stun there from Kenshi. That was very, very well timed, but we do get our down here. Another rather quick chase, I'd say, Fredrik.
Very. If I'm Jason, I'm feeling myself right now. Jaw's still broken as well, and oh no. If Jaw is here, if I'm Seraph, I'm throwing Jaw onto the other side of the map, right, to wait this out. But whose scratch marks were those?
A very curious question indeed. It would definitely make you wonder, as Jason, right? Who's rotating for this unhook? Is it Jaw again, or are we seeing one of our healthy survivors coming in for the unhook? Who is here on this side of the map with me? That being said, one generator is completed, but there is so much more generator progress to be gained after having a teammate essentially dead on hook at this moment. We do have Zaphis with a generator at about 80%, 75-80%. It's getting close, but Apply not being found after damaging the generator. Very interesting indeed.
Nice. No, very, very nice stealthing, right? That's not something that you usually get to do against Spirit because the player has their audio cranked up to 300 and it's dead silent. They soundproofed everything, right? But no, actually managing to stealth out the Spirit is impressive. But now Jason going back over, getting another hit onto Kenshi. That is another for the people, dragging out this tunnel out for as long as possible, getting 2 generators completed, and this chase is still going. The tunnel out hasn't quite happened yet. Kenshi coming back around. Oh no! That was a wonderfully timed dead hard and a fantastic read from Jason, who is getting the first tunnel out of the game, making the game into a 3v1, and spots another survivor off in the distance.
Yeah, this is being incredibly played by Jason right now, right? I mean, just knowing not to swing randomly. Oh, I like this. We are waiting for our eruption to come back. Yeah, there we go. Get your numbers in there, Jason. Yep, there we go. We're waiting for our eruption to come back so we can apply 2 of our perks at once. And now we're getting our eruption set up around the map. That way that our next down will apply some regression and give us a little bit of legal aura reading in terms of DBDLeague, because not much aura reading is allowed, but eruption is a pretty free pass. That being said, we do get our eruption set up on the active generators right now, and we're moving on to see if we can find somebody around. Nobody's around, so we're going to break this pallet, which Jason was chasing Kenshi at not too long ago.
I appreciate Jason going from one generator to another generator to another generator and just hitting them each in turn, like that scene from the Mel Brooks film History of the World. No, no, yes, no, 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 yes. Like just passing all of the other generators, almost like saying, "This is my 3-gen. Yes, yes, yes."
I like that. You know, you have quite the way with your analogies here, Fredrik, I'd have to say.
I'll take it.
Oh.
If I am good at nothing else.
Ooh.
Jaw just standing at a pallet and waiting to get jabbed in the back and turning around. Now, where are you going? Taking this chase over to a fresh pallet and a completed generator. Very nice. Are you going to hold W, though, or do you stay here? You stay here, and you get taken down by Jason, because the floor is where you belong. Jaw going to get put up on hook.
Absolutely, and we do see that there are legal aura reading with eruption there. It's pretty nice to see that, honestly. Eruption's a pretty good perk, giving you some gen regression as well as aura reading. But yeah, no. One thing I'm really curious about is if we have any competitive DBD players who specifically play Spirit but do not have headphones. I'm really curious if that's a thing that we have going on anywhere.
Wait a minute.
It really seems.
Wait a minute.
Yes. Oh!
It's... What am I... No, I referenced Life of Brian. Didn't I? No, that's not History of the World Part 1. That's Life of Brian, isn't it?
You know,
Did
Fredrik,
I just
you're the smart one. I'm not.
Like,
I think that you would know better than I would.
I mixed up my old movies. No, I mixed up my old movies. I'm like 90% sure now.
You know, I honestly couldn't correct you on this. I have no clue.
It had to have been Mr. You know what? Nobody cares. Literally nobody cares.
No, I'm sure people care.
I am the one who cares. I am the one who cares the most about this right now. Whatever. Zappa's taking the hit. Jason slugging apply. Just kind of leaving him there, way more interested in applying Eruption to his chosen 3-gem.
That's right. But yes, we are seeing some actually pretty good generator progress coming out from Seraph here. But Jason is just slamming the survivors into the ground here pretty quickly. I mean, it's not as dominant of a match as I would say the Freddy match was, but in terms of the average Spirit result, this is looking very, very good for Jason right now.
Yeah,
that being said, we are going to carry Zaphis to a hook as if he's a handbag and put him up on his rack and get another hook in. We do have another pop stack ready to be used, and Eruption is almost off cooldown here. And yeah, it looks like all of the generators are now kind of focused more towards the top side of the map, which is very interesting here. They haven't been able to really split the gens very well this match.
It was History of the World Part 1.
I love that for you. See, you were right the entire time, Fredrik, and you doubted yourself.
Why do I doubt myself? Why do I doubt myself? I'm always right.
Because you're human, I think. Are you?
No.
Oh, okay. Anyways, we have Zaphis on the hook.
Do you have any idea what you've allowed into DBDLeague?
You know, see, it wasn't my choice, but I'm just kind of vibing here, Fredrik.
It wasn't your choice. You're going to pay for it all the same.
Fair enough. Well, I'm sure that's another rabbit hole we'll be going down at some point. But right now, we're in the middle of a Sinners v Seraph match, and I kind of don't care what you have planned later on down the line, Fredrik. You're casting a match right now.
Yeah, okay. I guess I'm here right now. Zaphis going into second stage. Being permitted, just cranking gens. I feel like Seraph have given up the ghost, and they're just saying, no pun intended. But they're just trying to get as much gem progress as they possibly can. They just say, all right, you know what? If the Spirit's hanging out too close, we're leaving. Like, we're going to leave you on hook. We're going to stay on the opposite side. We are going to try to break this 3-gen. We are going to just try to make the rest of this game as reasonable as possible for us. Reset coming out as the injury hits Jaw. Jason chasing down, going to take this chase on the pallet, gets the read correct.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. Jason has been playing these 50s quite well. I really don't think he's missed many at all. So this is a very, very consistent as far as his 50s wins, I would say. So that being said, yeah, absolutely. Team Seraph is going to want to sit on generators as much as possible. We've kind of been at a stalemate with these 2 gens remaining here. So getting another one out of the way would mean a little bit easier of a win condition for your team's Spirit player to meet. And I mean, that's the best you can really hope for in this situation when your opponent team has such a strong hold of the match here, right?
Oh yeah, Jason is going to try to give nothing. I think if you're Jason, you try to hold every single remaining gen, right? You have 1 survivor up on hook. You just got some nice pop value on the most progressed gen, as far as I can tell. You just applied Eruption to it as well. Eruption has been doing so much work this game. Okay, you know what? Better question. What do you do if you're Seraph to get 1 more generator done? How do you play this? Oh, okay, well, rather than trying to 50-50 the pallets, you just leave. I'd say that's a pretty good start, winning that, I guess, 50-50-50, 33-33-33.
I was going to say, I think that this is exactly the play you make here. You let Jaw be in chase because Jaw is the DS survivor, and you make them last as long as possible. Unfortunately, that grab out of the locker to force DS was Eruption going off in the background, so we do lose some generator progress on both Zaphis and Apply's gen in the background, but it does give you a little tiny bit more time to work with, right? That being said, we do get the death onto Jaw. The 4th generator finally comes out. It took so long, it feels like, but yeah, Zaphis not even willing to play that game right there. He sees that Jason is coming. Oh, hey, that's interesting. You see that?
Yeah, no.
Jason ran out of kicks.
Yeah, so for those who do not know, you have a maximum number of 8 progression events on any given generator. Eruption has a tendency to burn through those pretty quickly because you have to kick it to apply it, and then when you down someone, that Eruption procs, and that counts as another regression event. And Jason losing track, right? You want to get as much value as possible out of however many kicks you are going to get on a generator, and so it's very common to see Pop Goes the Weasel run with Eruption. But Jason has maxed out that generator, and if I'm Seraph, I'm saying, okay, that's the one we're going for, right? But Jason is camping it hard and okay, but with 2 people left in the trial, another generator is a tall order. I think that those 8 regression events were just enough for Jason to get what he wanted.
I would say so. I mean, I don't realistically see this going too much further unless Apply can really stealth out here and get another generator done. I don't find it super likely, but nothing's off the table right now when you have 2 teams playing this hard to meet a reasonably good win condition here with your cards given, right? That being said, Jason is trying to find Apply in order to apply an injury, which it does come in. Very nice, swinging straight through that phase there, getting the tag onto Apply. And now both of our remaining survivors are injured, so this can become a slug game extremely fast here, Fredrik.
Oh yeah, I think that that's what Jason's going to go for, right? And Zaph is taking this to the comp corner, but is there enough gen progress anywhere for Apply to get anything?
And that's the real question, right? Because I don't really think so. We do have this generator here, which has run out of kicks, but I mean, with now Zaphis being on the ground, Jason can kind of just freely look around. I mean, this generator having more
Oh, wait a minute. That
Whoa,
was
unbreakable.
unbreakable.
That's right. And
Ugh.
if Apply is able to stay on the ground for Jason long enough, that will be the down onto Zaphis not too much longer, because, I mean, that generator having more progress now told us kind of everything we need to know, right? We know that Apply was working on this generator, and now we know that Zaphis has gotten up, but he was all the way in the comm corner, so how far could he have really gotten?
Right, and that's exactly where Jason was going, right? Like, Jason can't keep that generator in the distance out of his sight. He can't leave this generator because there's too much progress. If you're Zaphis, right, like, you have to sneak around and try to pick up Apply and then try to predict if Jason is going to rotate Jason, checking Apply on the ground. The way you play this, if you're Jason, is ooh, wait a minute, no, taking a gambit, looking for progress on the gen, and finds Zaphis, wins that gambit. That's going to be 4 kills with 1 generator remaining for Sinners. A very solid result. A very solid result on the Spirit.
And yeah, Jason agrees with the nodders we see there. That being said, very good result for Jason. 4 kills with 1 generator remaining is a pretty dominant position for Spirit to sit in, because Spirit, honestly, I feel like is affected by the balancing of the tier 1 killers the most out of all of them, because we regularly see outs with Spirit as compared to the rest of the tier 1 killers. I mean, the balancing really affects her in a way that it doesn't really affect everyone else.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this last week when we were watching our Spirit set together, right? Spirit is... We may see Spirit moving down, right? Like our Ghoul moving up to take her place, potentially. But Spirit has very much been struggling in her place right now, but Jason... I feel like Jason still had to work for this result, but not... It still was a very dominant performance, right? Like, I think that the amount of work you have to do on Spirit to get a result like this is evidenced by this game very well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, so something that I wanted to kind of correct myself on earlier is the fact that last match seemed like a more dominant position to sit in as a Freddy versus this Spirit match, right? But in reality, it's actually a very similar result, despite, you know, the 2 generator difference. You have to remember that the balancing is different for both killers and how it affects them. And that being said, I mean, with a killer that regularly sees outs against them, like Spirit, even though she's a stronger killer than Freddy, the balancing isn't as harsh on Freddy for his tier as Spirit's is for her tier. So being, you know, the 4K1 being a result, it's pretty impressive, and it's a very strong position to sit in, because now Team Seraph has to combat this with a 4K2.
Welcome back, DBDLeague fans and haters, because you're here too, apparently. Welcome back to Sinners versus Seraph, match 2. Our second match is a Spirit set. Sinners took a 4K1. Jason playing Spirit on the last set. This time it's going to be Jaw as the killer for Seraph. 4K1 is a very tall order to meet, especially on Spirit, who is on the lower end of the S tier killers.
Yep, absolutely. So Jaw has quite a bit ahead of him in this coming up match. But quite frankly, oh wow, that's a very early for the people. What?
Whoa.
That's interesting. I think. Oh, you know what, Bucky? I'm calling it is the decisive correct survivor.
Has to be,
or
it's a bluff.
Wait, it's a bluff. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Or wait, let me see. Hold on. Let me see. We can see. We can see. I'm looking right now. It's
wow. Jaw getting that down quite quickly, actually, I'd say. That being said, yeah, it looks like it was a bluff. Oh no, it was. yeah, it was not. Wait, hold on. What did we originally say?
Hey,
No, they wanted.
cameraman, can we
We
get a
did want
look?
Bucky to be chased. We did want Bucky to
It
be
wasn't a
chased.
bluff. It wasn't. So
It was
you
not
are
a bluff.
correct.
And
Yeah,
Ja
it
read
was
that
giving
very
hope.
well.
Yeah, no, that was good. That was really good. Makes
You
a
know-
lot of sense. A good for the people play. But now we Jason already going up on the hook. Zube going to take the next chase of the game.
Yep, that's right. And that being said, I do find it interesting, right, that we are completely ignoring Bucky at this point. I mean, it's obviously John knows at this point, right, that Bucky has to be the decisive survivor. It was a pretty obvious play there, but that being said, like, he doesn't know for sure. So I find it very interesting that we're completely ignoring Bucky right now.
Ooh,
Nicely done with the
okay.
unhook, very quick. But
Trade.
this could turn, yeah. This could turn into a pretty early death for Wheat Jason here.
No, not going to accept the trade. Wow, greeting that pallet hard and going to pay for it. We Jason going up on the hook once again. Second stage already. We are well into our first tunnel out for Seraph.
That's right. I mean, things are looking pretty good for Ja right now on Spirit. And we have seen Ja perform on Spirit before, and he is quite good. We have seen his Spirit performance before. He does do a pretty good job, so I'm quite interested in seeing how quickly this is going to...
Yeah.
Yeah, a good job.
Yeah.
A good
Yeah.
job.
All right.
You can find more of those kind of jokes at your local zoo.
Thanks.
That was terrible, I know. That was horrible.
Is it Zube?
Really bad.
Is it Zube or Zube?
I just say Zoob, and no one's been like, hey, that's not right.
No one's
So
yelled
I
at.
just
You know
kinda
what?
wrote-
I'm going to call them Zube, and we'll see if anyone yells at me, right?
Yeah, we'll see it in the YouTube comment sections, I'm pretty sure. But that being said, yeah, we've got Jason on the hook, about to die, actually. Everyone else is injured at the moment. There's no Sloppy Butcher, so that's not really preventing anyone from getting the unhook here. But either way, that's a death at 3 gens, which is actually the same as last time, if I'm not mistaken.
Pace. Yeah, no, I
Same
was
pace,
about to say
yeah.
the same thing. Yeah, exactly same pace as last trial. There is one major difference, however.
Yes, there
Last
is,
time,
and I
if
see
my
it.
memory, if my memory serves correctly, it's not Dragon's Grip. If my
That's
memory
right.
serves correctly, both every survivor that was remaining was healthy. This time, two of the remaining survivors are injured, and boy, is that going to make a difference in the 4th chase, with Zube getting dropped almost immediately.
But one thing I'd have to say that's definitely in Sinner's favor here is the fact that SMSFR is sitting tight on a gen right now. And if Ja does not go and interrupt that, then we're looking pretty good for Sinners right now. That being said, yeah, this is in fact SMSFR's generator, so we're going to go ahead and apply a nice little pop interruption on this gen. So far, no Dragon's Grip value at the moment, but I mean, either way, like 2 very strong gen regression perks going in. Well, wait, what happened to Zoom there in the background?
Wait a minute. Is that... I'm double checking.
Plot twist.
It's plot twist.
Plot twist. Yeah! We love plot twists. It's such a good perk. And unfortunately, it set off the eruption rather quickly.
Yeah.
You saw this last time, Fredrik. It's happening all over again. It's deja vu all over again.
Wait, hold on a second. Does plot twist proc eruption?
It does. Because
That
eruption...
that is so funny.
Eruption is triggered whenever a survivor enters the dying state. It doesn't matter how. Whereas,
Oh my
like,
god.
Surge is only when a survivor is down with M1. But
Yes,
Eruption
yeah.
is just dying state. So, plot twist can set it off, yes.
Oh god. Well, Zube getting discovered once again. He is going to be our 2nd tunnel out of the game. Can I... Okay. Can I share one of my big pet peeves about Dead by Daylight?
Please.
It always annoys me when people complain about getting tunneled out, right? It's like, why? You're getting chased. You're playing the game. What? Would you rather that you just sit there and hold left click and repair a gen the whole time and then walk out? Like, do you not want to play the game? Like, chase is a big part. I'm sorry. I'm getting worked up.
No, it's
nothing. Very
know,
nice. Was that Dead Hard? It almost looked like Dead Hard used to get a little bit of distance. Ooh, and a nice read. Zube taking this chase very nicely.
That gameplay loop hasn't been in DBD for quite some time, right? Dead Hard for distance. Oh! Zube with the pitch perfect pallet stun there. Very, very strong stun there on that pallet. Very impressive, I'd have to say. That completely forced Jaw to leave the chase. We're at 1 generator left, so the win is already in for Team Sinners here. Really impressive stuff there.
Well, I'm personally hoping that we get to see a Dark Lord set, because Dark Lord is a lot of fun to watch. Like, just watching the player move around between every different form. So I'm hoping that we can get to a tie condition, right? Like, I am as a caster impartial. I would just like a little more deep. I like watching competitive Dead by Daylight, right? I'm here for a reason. Give me more games. That is going to be SMSFR. If I say that name out loud, that's not going to spell out anything bad, right?
No, I believe someone actually mentioned it in chat earlier, and it stands for something like short message something. I don't remember.
Oh,
someone
SMS,
pointed out loud.
SMS message?
Yeah, like an
SMS for real. Like text message me for real?
Something like that, yeah.
That's the closest I'm getting. I'm having flashbacks to KMFDM.
Oh, let me introduce a better one for you. How about IM? Instant messages on Facebook.
Instant messaging. Oh my god, I remember AIM.
Yeah, right?
Those sound effects are burned into my brain.
Oh god, you mentioning them brought them back for me, and now I'm having flashbacks. Goodness gracious. Yeah, no kidding.
I should get a soundboard. Like, I should have that in on a Discord soundboard. Anyways, Zube gonna be in chase once again. Joss sticking SMSFR up on the hook. Being brought down again very quickly. And we do have gen progress. Bucky and SMSFR cranking out the same generator, but getting chased off by Jaw and finding SMSFR, who's going to be going into second stage up on the hook now. All right, I see a path to victory for Jaw.
There is definitely a path to victory for Jaw here, and it definitely involves making sure that no further generators get completed, especially not behind his back. Well, otherwise, that's going to spell
victory. Right, like victory, quote unquote. The best that Seraph can get at this point is a draw, but there is absolute it feels like, are you kidding me? That wasn't a hit. Zube juicing once again, and SMSFR again being torn off of the hook, and we see another for the people to keep her alive. Sinners doing a very good job of dragging out this game.
Yes, they are. That is some incredible work there from Team Sinners. They are doing wonderful right now. And Jaw is really on the hook for the rest of this match, I'd have to say. There's quite a bit that he needs to do to ensure the victory for Team Seraph, but it is not going to be easy work. Oh, there we go. Dragon Script in the background, but it's on the only injured survivor, so no value to be gained from that at all whatsoever. And not only that, but also Bucky has not been hooked at all. Oh, what? No. That doesn't hit! What?
Wow.
That's insane work there from Bucky. I was almost 100% sure that was not going to land. Or that was going to land. He was going to go down. But somehow he completely avoids it. I swear to goodness, the DBD gods are on his side right now.
Dude, you have decisive strike. Get hit. What are you doing? Please. Okay, Zube once again going to be the target. Bucky, again, trying to crank out this generator. If you're Jaw, do you stay on this chase? Can you afford to? You do, and you get the down. Now the question is, do you pick?
You know, I don't think so. I think we go and spread more pressure here because you need to make sure that a generator is not getting completed behind your back here. That's the important thing for where. Whoa, Zube is up fast.
Quick pickup. Yeah.
Wow. SMSFR has
the perk that allows you to crawl and recover.
Tenacity, which he does have.
Thank you.
But also, SMSFR also has We're Gonna Live Forever. That's why. Wait, no. Wait. Botany knowledge.
No, wait.
That's right. It was Jason who had Wiglif. That's right. Excuse my ignorance here.
That's a really good acronym. What is it when you say when you speak the acronym as a word? I'm forgetting.
You know, I actually don't know. I would just call it an acronym as well.
An acronym is when you say each of the letters, right? Like SMSFR. Instead of but when you pronounce it as it like SMSFR, then that's called that's something else. There's a different SMSFR. That's something else. There's another name for that.
Or like Pliff. Play with your food, Pliff.
I have a cat in my lap right now. She's also enjoying. Ooh, okay, that was a down out of nowhere onto Bucky, and going to continue to apply pressure. Yeah, all right, Jaw, all right, running right back over, but we're running out of regression events. Hey there. Oh. All right, cover for me. Cat needs love.
Fair enough. You know, I'm looking it up on Google right now, and it looks like it's still called an acronym. No, sorry. I believe it's called an acronym still. No, it's initialism. That's right, initialism. That's what it's called. Like Scuba. Okay. Scuba is also an acronym, but it's an initialism because you're sounding out the acronym.
Nope. Because Scuba is self-contained. Scuba is self-contained underwater diving apparatus.
Breathing apparatus.
Breathing apparatus. Shit. Oh,
because we work with. So my job works with scubas, but it's not underwater. It's for like firefighting and whatnot.
Oh, so, yeah.
We work with very similar equipment, so it's we're forced to learn these acronyms, or rather, these initialisms. And wow, nice find on the Bucky there. He almost got away with that sneaky play, but he does manage to outlast it a little bit until Jaw kind of turns around enough to catch him there. So very sneaky play by Bucky, but I think it might be enough almost for Zube to get some very serious and dangerous progress on this shack generator there in the distance. That being said, it looks like we are making some.
No, go ahead.
We're making our rotations right now to go pick up Bucky in the background.
That's kind of the problem that we're running into, right? If Jaw's ending up in that awful cycle where you have to chase people to get downs, but you also can't leave the generators, right? Like every time someone gets dropped onto the floor, Jaw has to go back and then someone sneaks around, right? Like Sinners have been playing this immaculately. They have been balancing this perfectly. Did you just drool on me, Cat? Yeah, bro. What the hell?
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like you have your work cut out for you today here, Fredrik, because not only do you have to focus on the match, but you also got to focus on the kitty. So unfortunate for you.
I don't mind. Like I can typically do that, but now I'm like my hands wet. What the heck? How do you do that? My God, control your salivatory glands.
So if a cat interrupts your casting, can you technically say cat's got your tongue?
Well, cat, whatever. Sure, why not? You know what? I have no pithy, witty rebuttal. Yes. Take
Fair
it.
Enough.
You can have this one.
Too occupied.
All right,
Zube. Good enough for me. We do get the down onto Zube. Well, yeah.
Jaw is really struggling. Like, this is a reasonable 3-gen for a Spirit, it feels like, but Sinners have been applying incredible pressure.
Yeah, with SMSFR staying injured and not being the one on the ground, these pickups are becoming rather easy for SMSFR here. That being said, Bucky does actually take the locker just to prevent Jaw from having all the time in the world to pressure other survivors. But yeah, no, this is easy rotate. Like the thing is, the gameplay loop of what's happening right now is that Zoob and Bucky sit on generators until Jaw comes and forces them off. One of them gets downed, and then SMSFR goes and picks them up. And they can just kind of keep doing that forever until Jaw runs out of kicks on the gens, and then it's just free work from there. Like, that's... I feel like that's what's going to give them the win here. Jaw is eventually going to run out of kicks on the gens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the question, right? Like, how can Jaw actually I feel like Jaw hasn't made any progress for the past 5 minutes. We've just been kind of running around in circles, twiddling our thumbs, because every time the reset comes out, but now we have a little bit of progress with Zube actually being put up on the hook, and I'm going to level with you. If I'm Jaw, I just traded a hook stage for a health state. I'm pretty happy if I'm Jaw right now. We have some actual progress being made. Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, again, definitely, you know, trying to sneak out onto Jaw's back there. Not really being able to pull it off, but now we're having both of the generator jockey survivors kind of just in the same location. So now it's kind of going to be 3 quick downs. And now Jaw can just kill Zoob. It's over for Zoob.
Turning it into a 2v1. I think that Seraph might have managed to turn this into a tie.
It's looking ever more possible right now. But that being said, I mean, we still do have 2 survivors left and 1 gen left. And there is some good progress on one of them at least. So that being said, it's important not to count out what's possible here. That being said, the realistic situation here is that I think that we do end this on a 4K1 and we get the tie, but anything's possible at this point, right? If Bucky can have a long chase, which actually doesn't look like it's going to be happening. It looks like Jaw is going to go look for SMSFR here.
Yeah, I think that this is the right one to go to. I mean, you can't kick the shack generator anymore. You can't kick the shack generator anymore, so you just run off to the corner, find SMSFR. You get at least a hit here. Yup, all right. So, yeah, there's not enough progress on any of the generators remaining. It looks like Bucky kind of snuck around and went onto the same generator that Smisfer was working on. So, are they...
Yep, that's right. But the important thing to note is, even if you down SMSFR, they're still unbreakable in play.
Bonk.
But I think this is going to be the down. Yeah, and then the hook. That's probably the smartest thing to do in this situation, right?
Yeah,
Because
you hook, you
SMSFR
pop, and... Yeah.
Excuse me. Smisfer can come in and just get a quick pickup.
Oh, spotted.
But
There we
Jaw,
go.
yeah,
No,
Jaw.
Smisfer got spotted. SMSFR has been spotted. That's going to be the... Bonk. Come on. There we go.
Unfortunate.
There we go.
But yeah, that's going to be the tie.
4K1. Match
Yeah, and that's
2. Match 2 between Sinners and Seraph is a draw.
Which is pretty impressive work.
Yeah, it is. Sinners is a very, very good team, and I would say the favorites in this matchup. And it does mean that Sinners is still up 1 game, right? It's 1-0 right now. But Seraph have shown that they're not going... Like, if they go down, they're not going down without a hell of a fight.
Very, very well said. And as we can see here from this very impressive Spirit match coming in from Jaw, right? It was very neck and neck between both of these teams. because either match could have gone either way, right? We could have seen one more generator from either match, and that could have been the win, right? But we see. Welcome back, everyone, into trial number 5, the first match of the Legion set, and we are seeing Kenshi playing the Legion here. We see he actually found like a pretty big group of survivors at the very beginning of the match, which if you're Legion, you've got to be extremely happy about. And that being said, we also see Jeff, who is not a very commonly played survivor in Season 10, so that's another pretty big W for this matchup here. That being said, we are getting a couple of injuries on the board here, and it looks like we're going to try to cut off Bucky and get a quick down. Might be a potential play here, but I'm not entirely too sure just yet.
I think one of the reasons that people don't really like playing Legion in competitive is his ability kind of goes against traditional competitive sensibilities. I say that, but that's a pretty quick first down. 52 seconds. And I mean, it does help that there are restrictions on which perks the survivors can bring. However, no matter how you cut it, 52 seconds on a first down is really, really good.
It is. That's pretty incredible, honestly. I mean, sub 1 minute is a pretty good result on any killer, honestly. So that being said, getting it on a Legion, who's a tier 4 killer, by the way, not very high up on the board, that's quite impressive.
Now, very quick unhook, though, and just goes ahead for the hit on Bucky, right? Goes ahead and gets it out of the way to get rid of any deep wounds or any extra speed that he could get. And now, oh, are you going to continue on to Bucky? So this is an interesting tactic from Legion. This is something you can use his extra speed for. You can use it to get in between the survivor and a resource that they want to use. That can be a window or a pallet, to buy yourself a little bit more time and make it harder to actually get to safety. Using the ability just to vault the pallet here, continue the chase. Can you actually make it? Forcing Bucky away to another pallet.
It's honestly a very similar gameplay mechanic to the Wraith when it comes to the 1v1 chases with Wraith. I mean, we see a lot of times we'll like use the speed of the power to catch up, and then we'll like body block a resource and then come out of the power, right? So it's a very similar mechanic, honestly, being used. That being said, we get our down onto Bucky, another hook about to come in. And, you know, all things considered, we're getting a pretty decent chase here, chase time. That being said, we have Bucky now going onto the hook for the second time. 2 hooks, on one survivor here. And we do have the mending equals broken add-on if you mend yourself. So I'm curious if the survivors are now going to see this and go, okay, we're going to need to mend each other and not mend ourselves anymore.
Right, and I would also like to point out the presence of the iridescent button add-on for our Legion, for Kenshi. It makes it so that whenever you vault a pallet, whenever you're in power, right? That's one thing that Legion can do, is while you are in power, you can vault a pallet. When you do that, it breaks the pallet. Now, that sounds really brutal. It's not as useful on a killer like Legion who can vault pallets, right? Just the ability to vault pallets means that pallets are not as much of an impedance to you. It's not as much of a... am I using that word right? Whatever. We're not talking about language twice in the same cast, okay?
That was incredible play there from Kenshi. Completely blocking off the hook.
Kenshi, yeah, you're doing an amazing job of blocking the hook, making it impossible to unhook Bucky. Bucky is now going to die on hook, going from 2nd to 3rd stage immediately, as Zube goes up on hook, with 3 generators still remaining to be completed. Kenshi doing fantastic on Legion, and I think that it's as much the fact that Kenshi is doing well on Legion as it is the fact that I don't think that Sinners knows how to play against him, because who knows how to play against Legion in a competitive setting?
Right, especially when you seem to have a killer that plays Legion pretty well, actually, I'd say. It looks like Kenshi's doing a phenomenal job right now because, I mean, like, look at the pressure that's being set. And also that play on the unhook, preventing it completely. I mean, we get the injure, and then we run ahead, and then we lose iframe, and then we block the hook. And wow, Jeff is really struggling to stay on Legion's shoulder there. It's kind of, you know, really ragdolling all about over Legion's shoulder there. It was quite interesting.
It is really important. I would like to point out that it's very important that that generator got completed, because if that progressed generator wasn't completed, you'd have a hook survivor right next to a generator with a lot of progress. That would have been a nightmare.
No pun intended, right? Because we did have a nightmare set earlier.
Yeah.
This is looking pretty dominant for Legion right now, honestly. Using the pallet break add-on to catch up to each one, and then just breaking them all with the vault there, and completely zoning the survivor off from any other resources. Pretty incredible stuff there, I'd say.
And I don't think there are any more resources left for Jason. He's just taking this over to a completed generator because that's the best he can do. However, SMSFR and Zube both have a lot of progress on their respective generators. We might be looking at a... Oh, no!
Deadlock!
Deadlock buys just enough time. Now, I think that that generator will still be completed. I don't think that Kenshi wants to leave. I think that they are leaving. They want to continue putting pressure. I think that Kenshi smells blood in the water, and Kenshi believes that he can get a 4K right here, right now, by slugging everyone right away.
Absolutely. Also, I mean, I love this. I love this gameplay here from just, you know, trying to decipher whether or not we're going to see a drop of the pallet and then it gets broken by the pallet break add-on, or if we get the stun and then it slows things down for our Legion here. But that being said, Bamboozle also being in play here, a very, very good perk on Legion, especially in the balancing that they're in. Quite the use out of the perk build here for Kenshi.
Yeah, I love it. It means that Windows, you can't continue... It means that you only get one use out of every resource per chase, maximum, right? You drop a pallet, go into power, vault it, it breaks. You go through a window. Legion follows you through the window. Bamboozle blocks the window. All you can do against this Legion is hold W. It makes the fact that you are an M1 killer a bit less painful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, having a good chase perk like Bamboozle, or even honestly Enduring as well. Something I was going to mention earlier is when Kenshi actually got a Feral Frenzy slash onto Jason there at the pallet and then got stunned on the same side. That's honestly exactly that kind of interaction there is exactly why we'll see Enduring on Legion sometimes, because then the stun comes in, they recover very fast with Enduring, and then they just turn around and hit the survivor on the same side. And then it's just over for that survivor quite quickly.
Jason coming in for the pick, goes down himself, waits as long as he can. But this is going to be a trade, and is this a pain res? Oh my god, they waited just long enough so that the pain resonance wouldn't damage the almost completed generator. Beautiful timing. We are now in endgame. However, Jason is a fresh hook and is hanging right now. Do you go for this save? I mean, we know what they are going to do, but they're both, Zube and SMSFR are both injured, but I think they recognize Kenshi's gone. Nobody's home. And so they're going to unhook Jason and book it for the door while I imagine one last person opens up that door.
That's right. That would likely be SMSFR, because we did see him getting right onto a gate as soon as that generator popped. So I imagine one is definitely completed at the moment, and we do see SMSFR actually here at this LNT wall here, and it looks like he's going to be the one getting chased at the end of the match here, while maybe Zoob and Jason take the outs, which I think would be the best decision here. Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, they just take it. You gonna drop him on the floor and give us? You gonna drop him on the floor and give us a Mori? No.
No Mori for you.
To be clear, that unhook, that endgame unhook resulted in the exact same the exact same result, right? There were 2 hook stages left on SMSFR, and if Jason was left on hook, that would have been another 2 hook stages. So same result, just going to take it. What are we looking at here? That's okay. If my math is correct, that is 8 hook stages on 4 fresh hooks. 9 stages, excuse me, 9 stages on 4 fresh.
Yes.
Not before the match, well in advance. We are getting into our second trial of our Legion set right now. Sinners now being represented by Jason on the Legion. First time we have seen Legion in Season 10, to my knowledge. Seraph now going to be trying to finish all the generators and get out with 8 or fewer hook stages for the victory. Jason already losing Ruin, however, and that is a big dub for Seraph if you're looking for that good of a result.
A bit of a mistake to drop the pallet there. Oh, and there we go. We get our unbound value for the match here. 10% extra movement speed for just a short amount of time there. And it's honestly some really good value, I'd have to say. I don't think that Zaphis even makes it all the way around this whole pallet once again. Yeah, unfortunately not. Unbound, by the way. And we also, you know, I didn't mention Furtive Chase either is also a very interesting perk. So it's quite lucky to see that we got our first chase onto our obsession, that being Zaphis. So it works out very well for Jason here.
Yeah, I feel like both sides are kind of getting some of what they want. But I feel like losing Ruin that early is much, much worse.
Yeah, no,
much worse for Jason. It is a much greater blow to Jason than getting your obsession up on the hook.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hey, nice. What was that break? He was kind of like cocked to the side a little bit there. That was strange. But yeah, no, nice Ruin value, right? Very strong Ruin value for like the first 5 seconds of the match. And it's gone, and he's got nothing.
Yeah. First generator being completed a little bit later than you would like, but I mean, spending that time to get rid of Ruin, you're still happy if you're Seraph right now. Only 1 hook stage, and now second chase going to end very quickly. Jaw getting dropped onto the floor. Also is the new obsession. Anyone here for the pallet save? Nope. Jaw is going to be the second one up on the hook.
And you know what, Fredrik? We were right. We're seeing 2 completely different strategies here for our 2 different Legion players. One is going for a tunnel out, and then the other one is going for obsession fresh hooks. So that's really interesting to see that.
I like it. I like it a lot. I also like that Jason saw that Ruin was gone and stuck to the plan, right? Ruin's gone. Everything else is still built around this strategy. Spreading the pain. Stick to the plan. Just stay there. And would you remind me what Unbound... Ooh.
Unbound.
That whip is going to give a lot of distance to Zaphis.
Yeah, a lot of distance that was unfortunately just going to be a bit too much for Jason to deal with at the moment. But the hit through the pallet, unfortunate for Zaphis there. You mentioned Unbound, right? Unbound, whenever you get an injury on a survivor for a period of time, don't remember exactly how much, you can vault a window or a pallet if you're Legion in this scenario. You can anytime you perform a vault.
Jason playing Legion.
Jason is playing Legion right now. It's an important observation, okay? That being said, whenever you vault anything, right, you get a 10% haste boost for 5 seconds, I believe. It's super long duration, but it does give you a pretty big haste boost that gives you time to catch up rather quickly. So on a killer like Legion, it makes sense, right? Because you get injures rather easily. And then you also are able to vault very quickly as Legion, so it makes a lot of sense.
Thanks for clearing that up, Thwongbad. Anyway, we Jason here on Legion.
Oh,
Unhook coming out. And now Kenthi and Zaphis on the one. Alright, Zaphis is going down again. Just going to follow them up across this pallet, right? Doesn't drop it. Greeds the pallet. Doesn't... Ooh, how much time is this going to buy? A lot if we Jason is going to whiff like that.
yeah, no kidding, right? Now, Zaphis can make it all the way back to the pallet, and he's pretty much in a safe area here. Except for now, the Tier 2 Bloodlust kicks in. Not so safe anymore, buddy. Come over here. I'm putting you on the hook.
All right, pallet. Nope. Pretty remarkable how much time Zaphis was able to get out of that very, very unsafe pallet. That's going to be the death. This is now a 3v1, but there is only one generator remaining, and again, no ruin. I cannot stress how rough that is.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
I cannot stress enough how rough that is.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, all things considered, right? Getting the first kill onto a survivor here is pretty, impactful. Despite the fact that we only have one generator left, Kenshi was in a bit of a better position here on the last match at one gen remaining. But either way, things can still turn into Wee Jason's favor here. But, hey, the important thing to mention here is that it's looking a lot more likely now for us to see...
Ooh!
It's looking a lot more likely now for us to... That was very greedy, yeah. That was a very nice pallet stun onto Wee Jason, though. But he was running out of time on his Feral Frenzy, so getting that tag there was pretty necessary regardless. Maybe it gets fumbled in the back end, maybe it doesn't. And now we are seeing the injuries come out onto almost every survivor. Now Jaw is still healthy, trying to find him. I think the best scenario here is honestly to go tag another survivor and then find out where he's at from there. Use your built-in tracking to find out where he's at.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. By the way, that swing from Wee Jason was very calculated because he's running Julie's mixtape. Whenever you get stunned, Feral Frenzy comes back immediately, instantly. So one way or another, it was going to be a decent result for him, right? They drop the pallet, okay. Well, I have the iridescent button, so I just activate Feral Frenzy again and vault it.
Exactly, yeah. And that's a very similar add-on to like the one we see for Ghostface or Spirit, where they have very similar requirements to get your power back. So it's not at all a bad add-on. Although I think that Kenshi just had a better setup overall in the last match. Things are still going
Kenshi
pretty...
had 4 perks.
That is so true. And Wee Jason has 3.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate for Jason here.
Finding that totem that early was so rough. Although, I feel like this is a map where it's relatively easy to find the totem.
Yeah, as opposed to like Grim Pantry, where like either there's like 2 on the most obvious places possible, and then 3 other positions where like you'll never ever find it. So
right,
yeah, it's definitely a much easier area to find totems in.
All
on this
right,
map.
Unbound value onto, oh my! But you are chasing after a healthy survivor. Going to just give him the hit. Run off. Which way do you want to go? Ooh, swapping targets away from the generator, allowing progress on that generator to go after Apply. I think they want to try to get this cycle going because Apply is the obsession. Once Apply gets unhooked, that is going to be a speed boost, and I think that this is even a fresh hook. Apply hasn't been hooked yet.
Oh, the last generator gets completed by Jaw. Very well played by Jaw here, getting this.
This is huge. You get the injury onto Jaw, and then you're going to see where the other survivors... Where are they? Where are they? No! They just want to continue. Wee Jason just wants to continue chasing Jaw and try to get, I guess, as many hook stages as they possibly can. This feels almost like a resignation. Wee Jason needs quite a few more hook stages to actually get victory here.
Very true. Yeah. I think the important thing here would be to get apply and get them on hook and amp them out.
Oh, no. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. 2 outs would be victory for Seraph. 2 outs is all it would take. But we have 3 injured survivors, and who do you see? Apply. Go. Gets the stun! And guarantees a victory for Seraph in game number 3. We're tied up 1-1.
That's right, we sure are. Looks like we're going to the Dark Lord set after all. Pretty happy about that, right?
We were going to the Dark Lord set one way or another, but now Seraph and Sinners are tied up going into the final set.
That's right. It's gonna be another matchup here where we see the tiebreaker, which, if you're familiar with last weekend, that's all we saw was tiebreaker matches after tiebreaker matches. So that being said, I am pretty excited because we get to see the Dark Lord. Our first match of the final set of the evening, the Dark Lord with Wee Jason already going into puppy dog form, trying to find the first survivor, and we do. That's Jaw right there at the back of main, struggling to blind, but finally gets it off with Champion of Light, applying a 20% hindered. Very, very well done, but at the same time, with the bat mobility, there's just not really a whole lot of effects of the hindered.
Yeah, it was a good choice. It did mean kind of semi-dropping that chase, though, right? You can kind of make up for it, but this is delaying quite a bit and doesn't even get the Hellfire on Kenshi, right? Oh, swapping over to the Wolf, could have left click and didn't do it. Kenshi, reading every situation perfectly, does get hit by the Hellfire, jumping through this window, though, and is going to stay here. Wee Jason, though, is he sticking onto this chase? No, he breaks it. No, he doesn't. Okay, I just misread. We jumped over to the side. Kenshi going down. Finally, 1 minute, 11-second chase for our first. Kenshi going to be the first on the hook.
That's right, and we get our very first Pain Resonance stack coming in. That down, by the way, came in at 1 minute and 11 seconds, which is a little bit slower on average compared to other Dark Lord matches, but still rather quick, not slow at all. So
Champion of Light value, baby. One of the most BM perks in the game.
Oh,
wow!
What, that hits?
Just throws the Hellfire. Because screw you, I guess. That was the most... That was one of the most, like... Well, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? That was the most laissez-faire Hellfire I've ever seen. And lands it. Why not? It's just like, oh, you know what? Let's mix it up. I'll actually take this shot. Because Hellfire is one of the more difficult to land ranged attacks from a killer, right? And so usually you hold it until you have a decent shot. You're playing a mind game with it. Although, where's the save on Kenshi, man? You have 1 generator completed, but are you really?
Oh.
Okay, Seraph going to allow Kenshi to go into second hook stage. Okay.
Yeah, that's
put a little tally down in my handy dandy notebook. All right.
I almost feel like that's a bit of a misplay here, honestly, letting Kenshi go second hook. I'm not sure if I entirely agree with that, especially with the gen pressure that's out on the map right now, kind of being a little tiny bit lackluster. You would want to see more gen pressure with letting someone go second hook, but I mean, are they going to let Kenshi die as well? I imagine not, but
are they? No,
it's getting pretty close.
Wee Jason's continuing to camp, though, and you've burnt half of your hang time on Kenshi. We have the heal. The reset was applied to apply. No, they're just cranking. I don't know how I feel about this, Rob.
Yeah, I don't think this is a good decision here. I think this might be the downfall of Seraph here, letting someone go from first hook to death in one whole interaction. I'm not sure I agree with that. That's, I think, going to be a misplay on Seraph's part. But, I mean, we'll have to see what the 3v1 does here. That being said, Jaw was using Champion of Light to kind of stealth out Wee Jason's bat form, but we sniff her out because we're in the puppy dog form right now. And, well, we're in bat now, but we were on puppy dog when we found Jaw. So, just gonna say that was an interesting interaction to find out about.
Ooh.
Nice health. I swear, Wee Jason is just chucking these hellfires at the survivors, and they're landing. It doesn't really matter
These
where
are
he
dirty.
throws them. Yeah, they are. That's another pain resonance coming in, by the way, it looks like.
Ouch. And I mean, maybe the idea was, okay, you know, we just hang out, we just hold left click on some generators, and we vibe, right? But now you're in a 3v1 with someone on hook with 3 generators remaining. It would be a really rough way to go out after such a great performance from Seraph.
Absolutely. When we get our pop goes the weasel value here, right onto Zaphis' gen, and we go right back to the hook.
Maybe the strategy was, hey, he can't get pop value if we never unhook. Right? Like,
Well,
maybe that's the thought?
You know, if that was the thought, I'm not really sure I would be too trusting in Seraph's team play ability here. Because...
All right, Wee Jason. Oh, not even... Oh, this is interesting. Doesn't even go for the lunge. Doesn't need to risk it. Knows that they can just get the left click eventually.
The left click, that's right. But yeah, no, if they weren't even pressuring the hook, or not making it known that they weren't pressuring the hook, then yeah, absolutely, pop would get no value, right? But at the same time, I would be... I'm really questioning what the thought process was there with not even attempting for the unhook on the first hook. That was very questionable, and being in the 3v1 so early in the match is going to be detrimental against a killer that's as mobile and lethal as Dracula.
Yeah, well, when I see a team doing something that surprises me or maybe seems suboptimal, my response isn't to say they messed up. My response is always prove it, right? Prove it. You're doing something that surprises me that I personally suspect to be suboptimal. Prove it. And now Zaphis going on the ground, Jaw getting unhooked. This is always the problem of a 3v1, right? Someone gets dropped on the ground, and then in the distance, someone's getting unhooked, but you just end up in this endless cycle that is more pain resonance value, and that is hook number 4.
That's right.
5,
you know, that's a
5.
fair point.
Hook number 5. Hook number 5. Hook number 5. Right?
That's
right. Right?
Yeah, because
yes.
we have 3 on Kenshi. Kenshi's dead. We have 2 on Jaw, and we have 1 on Zaphis. So that's hook number 6, actually.
6.
On refresh.
6. Dang
6
it!
on refresh.
No, my notebook strategy is failing me.
So that being said, I mean, you know, I think that we're going to see the effects of the 3v1 rather immediately into this match. And, you know, I completely agree with you, right? Instead of saying, hey, that's a mistake, that's a misplay, prove your strategy, prove why you're doing what you're doing. But at the same time, I don't know. I've just seen 3v1s against Dracula enough to say... It's not even that. Any team facing Dracula in a 3v1 is going to be harsh. Because I've seen it time and time again, right? Dracula is just so incredibly mobile. He's so strong in chase. It's just, there's not really a whole lot you can do. Once you see the 3v1, getting generators done is going to feel nearly impossible. And, I mean, we've just seen it so many times here in DBDLeague with the 3v1 with Dracula. That's why the tunnel out is so incredibly strong on him. And that's why we see so many matches where once the 3v1 has been entered, we see a 4K at high generators remaining.
Hold on, I finally am in a position to do this. Butler Toby, fetch me the average hook stages for Dark Lord.
Well, you know what? The great thing about that is that I love that, right? But the bad thing about that is that Toby is currently not in the call with us right now. He's actually running the live scoring sheet and and doing match official business right now. So unfortunately, he is not here. He's in a team chat right now. But I enjoyed the sentiment of that. It was quite funny.
Can someone give me the average hook stages on Dark Lord, please? Please?
I think...
Anyways, Mathis is dead.
Mathis is dead, yes. Scorch tells us that the average hook stages on Dark Lord is, and I quote, a lot. So, you know, honestly,
Cassie's sabotaging us. Cassie's Cassie the ping Toby and is like, what are average hook stages on Nurse?
10.28. Toby came in and answered the question. Cassie was not sabotaging us. What do you mean? She pinged Toby and asked, and he answered. She was helping us out. So, yeah, on average, our average Dark Lord hook stage per match is 10.28, which speaks
10.28. All right, well, it's about to go up because Apply is a Jaw is on the floor and Apply is currently dying.
Oh, excuse me, 9.6. There was a bit of a misunderstanding from my end there. But yeah, 9.6 is the average Dark Lord hook stage per game. But you know, the amount of 4Ks that I see on Dark Lord leads me to believe that it's actually higher than that. But you know, that also makes sense as well, honestly. But that being said, yeah, with a oh man, this is definitely going to end up being a 4K with 3 generators remaining. Oh, nasty. He says, "You're not juicing me up on the Z wall, buddy. I'm getting you down on the ground right now." Very well played from Lee Jason. 4K at 3 generators remaining is nasty work, Fredrik. That is insane. Well done, Lee Jason.
Beat that? How do you beat that? That is cruel. And it was allowing Kenshi to hang on the hook. I really hate to like call out a decision like that, but I feel like every problem that Seraph faced this game stemmed from allowing Kenshi to die on hook with no contest. Like, they only got 2 generators out of that. And to be clear, right? 2 generators all like from the beginning, right? Like, no 3-gen has been picked out yet. No 4-gen has been picked out yet. You're not doing this to break a 3-gen. Maybe they just felt like they could break any potential 3-gen by strategically choosing 2 generators. I'm not sure. I did not look that closely. But against Dark Lord, right? Like you said, Dark Lord is so mobile. It's so, like, even if you break a 3-gen, you're still going to be pressured really hard.
As we load into this match, go into the platform, teleport straight to Shaq, and he's already finding scratch marks. So that's at least a little bit of crumbs in hopes for getting a even tie or a win, potentially. So, I mean, hey, anything is a victory at this point. When you've got so
I cast Yeet Self. And that's a first hit.
That's right. That's right. But we do get a nice early tag on the Bucky here. I'm going to follow it up with the bat form and then maybe put him down with Hellfire. Can we do it? That's the important thing. He does run pretty far away from the loop, but that's going to be the down quite early into the match here. We'll see once 41 seconds.
Wait, who's in the corner? Jason is just sitting in the corner. Wait,
he's vibing, man.
What are you doing there?
He's vibing.
Wait, what are you doing? He's just sitting there. Is he gonna go for the unhook? Maybe he's just going for the unhook, right? Like,
yeah, you know, maybe he's just kind of, you know, waiting out for the potential unhook here. But yeah, no, just kind of enjoying his little corner factory there. Just kind of hanging out. Doesn't want to chase Zoob very much. He's suspecting that maybe an unhook is coming in pretty quickly, and it is for the people coming out rather quickly. Very nice to see that. That's some good team play there, trying to protect Bucky as long as possible here.
So Jaw actually did manage to get, that was a 41-second first down. That's right.
That's a little bit
that
more
was
on
a
average
pretty
for
good-
the first down for Dark Lord, I'd say.
Yeah, like that's what John
Oh.
needs. That's what John needs if he's going to get this win. And here we go. Oh, no, missing the left click? Was that
He bit the lock.
was that lock on? That was the auto lock on? Was it?
Well, I believe
Or
it
was
was
that just
auto
a
aim,
you?
yes.
Yeah, it was auto aim. Yeah. All right, Bucky getting picked up. This has got to be another pain res. Oh god, please tell me that's a pain res.
No, it's not pain resonance. Bucky was
Oh
already
no.
pain res.
All right.
Unfortunately for Jaw here, we do see the first
First gen
generator
getting
coming out.
done.
Getting the 4K here
like,
is the win
If
condition,
you're
right?
if you're Dark Lord, you want to hold main gen, right? Like that's one that you can hold really easily. And so cracking main gen is really, really good for Sinners, right? Like you have one generator for two hooks, or two hook stages. But I don't know. I'm happy for getting that gen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's a very important generator to get out of the way right there. And, you know, honestly, got to give some credit to Jaw, right? He is ending these chases rather quickly. That's preventing the fourth people from coming out, putting him into deep wound there. So, wow, this is already looking pretty good for Jaw, all things considered.
Ooh.
At the very least, I expect that this is very possible right now to potentially put this down at a 4K3. As far as how it's looking, things can definitely shift into Jaw's favor more, and he can get the 4K4, or things can definitely shift a lot more into Sinner's favor, and they are able to pop more than 2 generators, which, I mean, oh, interesting there. The Champion of Light being used to fool Jaw into where he is moving to.
Nip the booty. Bucky's gone. And that's
right.
a kill for only one generator. I don't know. Like, we were talking about how difficult it was going to be to get 4K3, but if Jaw's going to get a 4K3, he's on pace for it.
Yes, definitely. That being said, we're going to wait for our eruption to come back for just a little bit. It's almost back. Yeah, I would think so. This was the highest progress generator earlier. Yeah, there's not really any other generators with more progress than this at all. So, yeah, that was 100% worth it, I would say.
Yeah, you got 3 people left. You're likely... It's unlikely that they're going to be able to finish that generator, and, like, the other generators don't have a whole lot of progress on them, it doesn't seem like. I don't know, man. Is this a tie? I think Jaw's on pace for it. Jaw can do this.
God,
that would be a phenomenal result.
Ooh. Wow, nice blind there from the Firecracker by Wee Jason. Very telling result of his use of Firecracker in these matches here. He definitely knows when to drop him in chase. Very nice to see that. And, you know, I just got to say, Jaw is going all over the place and making things happen right now. It is extremely impressive, I have to say. Jaw is just switching between different forms, putting them to use, and going back and forth all over the map. I mean, this is textbook Dracula play right here. This is what makes him so strong, and why we haven't seen... Oh, the other generator popped. We're at the tie condition now.
Oh, my.
God.
All right.
Jaw cannot let another generator pop.
Oh, no. Oh, no, and Jamie Heineman is almost finished with this gen.
Oh, yeah, he is. That's a very impressive observation there from Fredrik. Not only the fact that he's almost completed with his generator, but the call-out of the character as well was quite something.
All right, he's going back into the onto it, and he is the deja vu survivor. So, okay, now he's being chased down. We've discovered this gen, but that gen is already through a lot of its regression stages. All right, about to bust the myth of vampires. If he can just run this for long enough and buy enough time, Sinners have proved... Oh, and missing that Hellfire is not what you need right now. And breaking the pallet, forced to break the pallet in chase when you have SMSFR cranking one gen, about 40%. Wee Jason on another gen that's at 75%. Even this damage state, even this health state, I don't think is enough. Doesn't even need to yeet self, just goes for a little nip. But those gens are getting done. Those gens are getting done.
Yes, they are. We're not. I do not think that Jaw is going to walk out of this with a win, but I will say, style points, very impressive Dracula play here. He is knowing exactly when to switch between different forms and when to use them in the right fashion, and his just overall macro has been on point. It's just there's not really much you can do when you have 3 different healthy survivors all splitting on generators this efficiently. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like even we, Jason, would have struggled with this. If Seraph had not let Kenshi die on hook, this would have been a much different win condition, I imagine.
Yeah, I think so too. Although, all right. You know what? Ooh, those are some big spikes. What do you do? What do you do? Like, that was a lot of aggression. There's still, right, Seraph is still in this, right? Technically. But golly, that is a lot of progress on that gen, and then this generator is getting progressed. This is exactly what Sinners need to be doing, is just putting a lot of pressure onto a bunch of different generators. That would have been a really nice bite to land.
That would have been, honestly. It's quite unfortunate for Jaw here, because there's just, I mean, I don't really see preventing another generator from popping. It's just, there's so much pressure around the map on all of these different generators, and like, what do you really do in this situation, you know?
I don't know. The problem is that there's nothing clustered, right? Like, one thing that you want to do as the killer, especially in a situation like this, is spread out your pressure into as many different areas as you possibly can. Pain resonance really helps with that, but I don't think that's going to be enough now, especially now that 2 pain res stacks have been spent. Zube is our other hooked survivor, correct? I kind of got into the game and lost track. There we go.
So.
Gen cracked. That's it. Sinners is going to take victory 2-1 in this series. And now we're just playing for ego and for fun, for practice. Jaw gonna try to get as much as he can, but now we vibe. Although, wait a minute. Okay. This could be a 4K1. Pix SMSFR. Okay. Is this a 4K? Right, that's what I'm looking for now, Jaw. Can you get a 4K? Can you find Wee Jason in time? Wee Jason picks up Zube, gives him for the people. I think that they might be able to turn this into a 4K.
You know, that being said, I think it's entirely possible that we can see a 4K here, because we are seeing 2 different survivors who are currently inactive in the match, one being down and placed on a hook, and another one who was just hooked, but now just unhooked. So there's a lot of potential for a 4K happening in this match here. So really powerful performance from Jaw here, just not able to capitalize on the very heavy win condition that was planted onto Team Seraph here. Oh, very well done from Zoob, calling out the
Wait, did he miss the left click? Okay, wow. Okay,
now he got it.
He still got the injure. Okay, so it's not the worst. But, you know, fine time.
Very well done by Jaw, getting the down onto Zoob here. But now both of the other survivors are off the ground and likely working on a generator, or maybe even getting the reset off. So I'd be a little bit scared right now if I was Jaw. They are resetting, so that's pretty important, because you want to stay healthy, right? But that being said, he does find the reset.
Finds the reset. Going after Wee Jason. All right.
Switching targets
Going
to
right back
SMSFR, actually. Perfectly pinpointing exactly where he was at. Really impressive. No wonder why Jaw is playing Dark Lord, right? He's very... Oh! Interesting stun right onto Jaw there. What?
Wow. Okay.
Wow, what a grab off the pallet.
Okay. All right. Oh, wait.
Dude, move.
Dude, out of the way.
But yeah, now, I mean, we're finding both of the other remaining survivors, so I think the possibility of this turning into 4K... What?
Oh,
my
yeah,
God,
baby.
Jaw, wow. You know,
The frustrating thing, this is a good performance from Jaw. This is good. This is a great result, right? Like, it's, there we go. There's the 4K, it looks like. This is a great result. A 4K one. Getting a 4K one and still losing hurts so bad, right? Like, Seraph have yet to win a series so far. And when they're getting results like this, you look and you ask why, right? Like, you're playing great. You're playing great against a great team. And it's just painful. It's painful. It's painful to watch. And I imagine it's even more painful to experience. But Sinners is going to offer no ground, and at least in terms of the game result, no sympathy. Sinners coming out of this set with 2 victories to 1.